chess.org. Hope I put the right title in the advertise page and stuff. Anyway, here we are now. Let me refresh stuff here. Hey, what's this? Ah, because it's ticked here. Oh, right. Okay, cool. Now it's been ticked off. The evaluation gauge and all. So we leave it. We leave it clean and nice. So Nakamura and Carlsen, they play for vying for the gold and silver medal. And Fabian and Vincent, they fight for the third place, of course. And yeah, that's what it. Not that the Yanni Pomnici or MVL or Arjun, they don't play magnificent chess, but just keep things in perspective practically. Either Magnus or Hikaru will be having first and second place, and Fabio Vincent for third place. I might need 1 or 2 more cups of tea or coffee, so you'll be excusing me every now and then. Going to grab my beverage. So that's what is now 1 hour 59 minutes left for Magnus. Hikaru 50. What is Black supposed to do? That's a bit of an outpost, isn't it? The knight on c5. A bit of an outpost. This guy can't move his pin currently. So this pawn cannot advance. Moving king on the g, not sure. Black's turn to play. Can you secure the black king a little bit more? Or should you play the bishop? You know, developing your pieces, finish up the development. And if you had to play the bishop on c8, where exactly would you move it? Knight to b3, amongst others, maybe jumping either of the 2 knights on c5. I don't know when. But probably after bishop e6 play by black, one of the 2 white knights would like to go to c5 and attack the respective bishop. It is likely to happen. So any bishop e6 will be responded probably with some knight over to c5 to attack the bishop. And then what do you play next? Do you defend the bishop? Do you withdraw the bishop? If we draw, like where? Really? And game continues. So even if folks say that this is a draw, it might be a draw if you were a machine. Now, we're not talking about machines. We're not addressing machines here, right? And softwares. We're talking about humans and their respective limitations. So there's still a lot to happen. This position has very many critical points, very many problems here. It like having like how many, like 8 extra minutes for Magnus now, and plenty of time anyway. 56 minutes, that's plenty of time. 3 minor pieces, very active. I would say maybe the white king is a bit happier than the black king here. So there is no dark square bishop that might be attacking the white king here. There is a queen indeed, but as long as you keep the rook here, I don't think you're going to get checkable by the queen. So we'll see. Yes. Yeah, thanks for following, fellas, and stuff like this. So that is Magnus Hikaru. Let's see Fabi Vincent. Fabi. Ooh, look at the white pieces attacking pretty much everything that is of importance here. Rook, queen, rook is in a pin. I think poor Vincent has a problem here now. You move the rook, you lose the queen, and whatever you do, rook should be captured potentially. The bishop on h8 does not exist just yet. g5 is another point of attacking and getting your knights around. He hadn't castled yet, Fabi. I'm not sure if you're supposed to castle or it's Vincent's turn. I don't know how Vincent get out of this. Is there any point to look into f5 trades and stuff? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and that's about. But there is a rook behind. Does that mean anything? Maybe rook behind means anything. If knight goes over to g5, in principle, in theory, later on. Also, this guy may be jumping here, but you gotta be careful of this, right? So it may not work. Black's to play anyway. Anyway, it seems to me white should be just taking the rook after black plays whatever they play. It might be just bishop. You just take the material. Although I have to say the bishop in the middle game here, it's an important piece. But the rook is a rook. You still got 2 knights and a bishop. Maybe it's enough for white to simplify, convert, and win. Easier said than done, that is true. But anyway, that's what it is. As for the 2 bishops, yes, the bishop on c8 is the only active bishop. Oh, Vincent. The bishop on h8, not that much overdoing for the minute, but in the future, they will. I assume after the 2 black knights play, trade, move around, then that bishop would be actively looking at the a1 square, where currently is the white rook. So yeah, of course, totally. Other than that, Magnus and Fabi. Knight b3. What did happen here? So let me just fast forward a bit. This move, e5, played by Magnus, then takes with a pawn. Therefore, the knight on d4 is being attacked. Knight goes b3, as we discussed previously, and Magnus didn't move nothing. He didn't move nothing yet. Probably he thinks that if bishop e6, we're going to have some knight to c5. So probably he needs to have a follow-up plan. What do you do beyond that point? Or maybe the other knight? You're free to tell me which one do you think. Maybe the knight on b though, because you may want to keep this one double attacked. You never know. Also, if this white pawn were to moving forward, would be a little bit of undermining here. If that means, again, anything. These are all ideas, tactical ideas, which are very time-consuming for humans playing chess. So a move like this to be considered for white, but again, we have to adjust to whatever black decides to play. So we don't know yet. We don't know yet what Magnus is going to move next. We just don't know. Could be something very uneventful like b6. Purely to stopping any knight coming over to c5, because that's quite an important square, I'd say. So the question would be probably a move like b6 to simply not allowing any knights. And then you decide if you want to go bishop e6. I mean, on the next turn, if the situation allows it to. So right. If I'm not mistaken, being given a victory already, if Magnus draws this particular game, if he draws it, he's actually the winner of the freestyle chess, and he banks in a $200,000. So I think he's very much cool with drawing at this stage. Well, he might be very well winning, but definitely he don't want to lose, because if he loses, they'll have to play again, because it's 1-1, so to speak. You don't have a winner. You don't have a gold medalist and a silver. So he'll look towards winning or drawing, of course. Such truism, I say sometimes. Just try to clarify for myself, but he moved actually queen d6. Queen d6. He didn't play b6, he played queen to d6. Okay, you've got a few things to consider here. After queen left the back rank, is this thing an idea? Rook a over to a8. Is this thing an idea? I mean, not... Okay, knight a5 by Hikaru, almost instantaneously being played. Knight a5, just sudden move. Knight a5. Challenging this guy and actually threatening to win it. To win a pawn. That is, if black doesn't do nothing, knight takes c4, you take, and then queen takes, winning a pawn. So, yeah, okay. Also, diminishing the defending of the e5 once the black knight goes away. Or just attack twice, but it's worth mentioning anyway. Everything matters at this stage. For these guys, everything matters. Now we can say they play for money, right? And for the beauty of it, I think at some time they just want to, you know, the ego kicks in. And we just want to play this and you just want to win. Knight takes. Now, obviously, you will take back. Now, the question would be, do you reckon Naka takes with the pawn or takes with the rook? Which one do you think he's going to take back with? If it, let's put it this way. If we take with the pawn, you might have some knight available for the b4 square. If that means anything. Or maybe with the rook also. Okay, he took with the pawn. Probably rook takes a5 is not a bad idea anyway. So he took with the pawn now. Fine. So b4 is accessible to whatever piece you may want to throw over there. It might be some rook on the b, but I'm not sure when and how exactly. Also, there is a constant double hit on e5. That means the knight has to stay there with the queen to defend. You can't drop that pawn. Can you undermine that point somehow? Do you reckon there might be something with rook f and then you're sacking here and then you go for some crazy stuff? It's just I'm just imagining a possible idea. I'm not sure if it's the most sound idea, but I'm just thinking of anything. I think this diagonal is of utmost importance for both of them players, for white and for black. White currently attacks it twice. Black defends it twice. Okay. The second defender for a pawn is the knight on f7. Would rook f1 serve any purpose to removing this guy and then maybe you can play a knight? Or is it just a very, very bad idea? I'm just thinking. I'm pretty sure Magnus himself thinks about this kind of stuff, and many others. He is actually the best on the planet. Of course, he sees this and he sees many others. But it's an idea. I think it's worth noting this. It's an idea. Just to avoid a ton of complications, Magnus decided to move king over to g8. It's very important because he no longer is in a pin. He's not in a pin no more. The king had moved. So to speak now, the knight is free to play. Whatever they want to do with the knight. The bishop probably will be developed at some point. Question is, heck, where do you get the bishop? And I don't know what to say. The game continues. What I do know is that Nakamura is in a win situation. He must win if he wants to get the first prize, the gold medal, and the money. He got to put up a fight. But then again, we got the number 1 and number 2 on the planet. What do you want? It's the, the eternal rivalry. It's the eternal clash. These guys are the best of the best. So, of course. Oy, where's the bull disappearing, man? Okay. Oh no, the bull is here. I think we cool. Yeah, thanks for following, guys. Cheers. King g8, no more pin. No more pin. What do you play? Where are the weaknesses? What do you do with the bishop here if you are Nakamura? Well, you can't move it anywhere for now, so just stay there. Any other weaknesses you could go for? Should you go for some trade? Yeah, but trades don't help with anything. Look at a there is a there is a solitaire pawn here. I don't know. Does that mean something? It's isolated. Maybe he should have taken with the rook some 2 3 moves ago. Maybe. Maybe he should have taken. Maybe White should have taken with the rook to preserve the pawn island. If you want to look at the pawn structure strictly now, if you want to look at the pawns, Black is enjoying 4 connected pawns, 1 pawn island consisting of 4 connected black pawns. That's great. And also they've got another pawn island, 2 connected pawns. White is having 3 pawn islands and an isolated pawn. I think long term this guy on a5 would be a target for Black's pieces. I assume once the bishop goes hell knows where, I don't know where, the rook may be playing a8 and already start targeting this guy. And then you can envisage something maybe with the knight and things. These pawns are a little bit scary. The black pawns are a little bit scary. I assume White has to move the white queen and the knight away and do something with its own pawns. But strictly as a pawn structure, Black I think is enjoying a better connectedness, and the 2 black pawn islands are great. Absolutely great. That a5 is a forever weakness. Forever weakness. It might be the b7 may be a weakness after the bishop plays and develops, but not that much of a weakness, I guess. Right. Who's at the door? Hey guys, you alright? Okay. So I think trades is now working in White's favor. So you may not want to do queen b4 and stuff. It doesn't serve any purpose. Any clarification helps Black very much to understand the endgame they want to get into and how to draw or take advantage of the beautiful pawn island here. So I guess White wants to avoid the trades. If you want to play some knight, maybe knight b4 I'm thinking about. Maybe because after knight to b4, you may want to push this guy one more time. Just to undermine this, again, as I said, the pawn island. So knight to b4. If there is any something like c5, then of course d5 is hanging, given we've got a bishop too attacking that pawn. So I'm just imagining now possibly knight b4 as a move here for Hikaru. Okay, so what's the best attacking ideas? Knight b4. What else? I don't see any other attacking ideas. The more pieces come off the board now, the clearer it is for Magnus what path to go to. So Hikaru has to come up with brilliant moves all the time. Just to, hope for something. Yeah, you just have to play this game seriously now and just do your best. Just do your best. Knight b4. Knight b4. It seems knight b4. Queen b2. Okay, so knight b4, a potential idea. Let me just show it again. So knight b4, a candidate move. Another candidate moves I'm thinking about could be probably queen to b2. Just move the queen away from the c pawn. Maybe you want to do something with that pawn someday. Queen to b2 does not allow the bishop on c8. That's what I wanted to say. Queen to b2 would not allow the black bishop to move, because you're targeting b7. the base of the chain, so to speak. Oh man, they cooking now? Okay. So queen b2, the bishop can't move. Knight b4, queen b2. These are all ideas. It could be. I assume it's not that much impossible for Magnus to just draw this game. After all, he wins it, right? Given the fact he already has a victory from yesterday, I don't think there'll be a problem for them to fighting for a draw here. Okay, let's see Fabi Vincent. Oh, painful to having the black pieces here. That's a pin. I don't even know how to judge that pin, how to think about that pin. Looks to me this one is going to get open very soon as this pawn departs from f to g or something. And of course, after the knight on f3 goes, again, somewhere meaning d4, g5, you name it. And then the f would be open with the full battery white attacking on f7. So looks to be Fabio should be able to winning the third place, which is kind of predictable. If you want to put it this way, probably very likely Fabio is going to come third, bronze medal. Second, if it ends up a draw, Hikaru big chances to being a draw, and then of course Magnus comes first, Hikaru second, and Fabio third, and the rest of the guys, which are phenomenal players, but seemingly we've got number one and number two still retaining their authority and dominance on the chess hierarchy. Yeah, I don't think anything helps white here. I guess the last move Vincent plays, it's a desperate attempt to try to dream about doing something with that bishop, ever, if anything. But I don't think it helps them with anything, really. I mean, it's painful to play this with the black pieces. So, BC now. I mean, like, what does he want to do? Get another piece in a pin? We already got a bishop attacking everything. What exactly want to do? It's probably nothing to do here for black, apart from resigning, of course. Now mentioning he got 18 minutes left on the clock, and Fabi 1 hour, like, hell, what's going on here? And it's beautiful about this Fischer random chess that actually the most powerful tacticians are just confirming themselves, you see. So you can't complain that someone had memorized all night long and knows all the lines and stuff. There's no line to memorize, I guess. And you just pure chess, pure tactics. So that's what I like about 960. It's just pure tactics, unprepared and stuff. You have to prove every single move you play right from the very beginning. So yeah, you've got the confirmed hierarchy again and again. And that's what it is. That's a fact. So e4? e4 by white. A little bit of a weird move, I have to say. A bit of a weird move. So I would assume black's not going to take on e4, right? But I guess they could just push. They also can just ignore it. But that, I think, the plan Nakamura had in mind is try to create some other possible pins with queen b3, queen c4, God knows when, how, and it might be something. So if this thing would happen, I guess queen's gonna move for sure somewhere. Hell, you name it, b2, b3, c4, I don't know where. And then probably he wants to push the c2 to c3. That might be the case. That might be the case. So again, black doesn't have to take, and I don't think you should take. I don't think. Well, you have this option, you have this option, and hell, you have another option like developing piece, like bishop, that is. And you've got this as well. Not mentioning you may be having something. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 candidate moves. Which one is it? As a human, you have to assess this one correctly and timely, and you got to go for the correct one. I don't know what's the best move here for black. I guess for white, you have to try whatever you can. Anything that's available, you have to try it. That seems to promise any little chance to winning or to, yeah, to winning. You got to go for a win, actually. Hikaru has to go for a win. Okay, I'd assume, okay, he tries to create a bit of complications here because, I mean, hell, you may very well resign, right? But black has many options here, really many options. Probably the many good ideas here for black to play. I would push probably the black pawn. I would just push d5 to d4. Just push d5 to d4. And then keep up with the development and adjust your position to what your opponent plays. I don't think it's a blunder or anything. d5 to d4. Is this a blunder? I don't think so. It doesn't seem like. But if you don't like it, just get the rook somewhere. Get the rook. Maybe on the D. And then you trade. The pawn, that is. It could be all sorts of things. Hey, thanks for following, fellas. Appreciate. Yeah, he gonna find something. He gonna find something. He got extra 8 minutes. It's a ton of time. Magnus, very likely he gonna find a way to at least draw. And he got no stress about it. The onus is on Nakamura. He actually needs to win. It's quite difficult. Well, they're not machines, so anything is anything is possible on a human level approach. So the machine would play with max certainty, right? But humans, you never know. You never know what stuff they misevaluate. But given the amount of time, 45 minutes, 40 minutes, given the amount of time, it's plenty of to think and choose the correct one. And yeah, it's number one and number two on the planet. They all find the best way. Yeah, that's it. It's great. Greater for Magnus and a little bit of a struggle for Hikaru. Fabi Vincent, probably Black gonna resign. So exactly what we did say. White intends to open up the F file. This is very important because you got a battery formed of the queen on F4 and the rook on F1. So you want to having this battery active, available. You need not rushing into taking the rook or anything because the rook is still pinned. So you don't have to rush to take rook. You can take it later. What you probably try to find a way is moving the knight on F3 somewhere out of the rook, in between the rook and the queen. So you need to make sure the knight on F3 disappears. I mean, disappears in terms of moving away, no longer blocking the battery. So you go somewhere with the knight. I don't know, you tell me where. Probably d4, probably g5, I guess. Well, maybe d4, maybe d4. Maybe d4. And then black has a thing with this. Whose turn is it? Wait a minute, let me go to the last move. So hg, knight d4. Yes, indeed, knight d4. Now we've got this threat. Look at this one, guys. Okay. You're living now? Okay, hold, let me stop this one. Oh, let me All right, some things going on around here. Right, so we were saying this is the battery, rook and queen attacking f7. Black is in serious trouble here. They have to do something equally painful. Drop a bishop for defense or get a rook. And again, the initiative is hugely in white's favor here. So, yeah, exactly right. As soon as I finish the sentence, Fabi goes for rook f8. Defending f7 now. Right, so Fabi enjoys a great position here. Just throwing a few candidate moves. If you're not in a big rush, you may play some rook over. But that's not probably the most aggressive move. You have to look for other aggressive ways to playing the position. Maybe, oopsie, wait, whoa. That can't be played, can it? What other stuff you do? I think the g4 has to stay there to just stopping the black knight from departing anywhere. Would you take this knight, though, with the bishop, just to make sure it's no longer there? It looks a little bit annoying. So maybe removing the knight on e4 with the bishop on h1. Just thinking. Could you do that? Is c4 also a move, you reckon? Reason being they can't really take because the knight is hanging. So you play this. Eventually you take, forcing them to take with this. Then hell, maybe you castle and get yourself a rook on the c. That's just a completely different scenario, but I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. But so they took on e4, which I did say. I said bishop takes that knight because that knight on e4 was the only black piece in your half territory. And it's good to not having it there. It's good to not having and worrying about a knight, and the bishop on h1 was incredibly idle anyway. I don't think white is supposed to castle now at all because you've got this battery here. So you don't need to castle anything now. You don't need to. You just, I think you just activate the rest of the pieces, get the rook to playing a more active game. Leave the g4 pawn exactly where they are. It's got to stay there. Maybe something like this, just pressure on the pin piece. The good old apply pressure on the pin piece. Maybe knight has to go c4. Knight goes c4, you attack the rook. Yet again, which is that poor rook is being attacked by everybody. You want to attack something, go attack the black rook. It's already being hit like for the last 20 moves. Well, I'm exaggerating, of course. That black rook's being hit like since like forever. Yeah, get another knight on c4 to just do that. Get the rook over to b. I think it's an easy game for a super grandmaster like Fabi to continue the current position here. So rook a b. Knight c4, probably the most aggressive. That's great. So you don't need to worry too much about the current position here. White is winning. So Fabi is going to be third. Bronze medal for Fabi, and probably he gets a check anyway. He gets a nice check, Fabi, as well. As per these two guys, well, e4 was the move. Magnus took, after some thinking, he took the pawn. I don't think it was a blunder to push the pawn either, but bishop e4, so he accepted, and bishop h3. So he finally played the bishop. He takes those vital squares from the white king, so they can't go on the light squares, and they have to be careful with that black bishop now taking g2 and f1. I think he's ready to move a rook on the back rank. I don't know exactly where. It could be b8. It could be maybe rook b8. Could be. Just in principle. Knight has to stay here for now on the queen to defend this guy. But I'm telling you something. I think white can think about playing queen b2, right? I think. Why is that? Because a move like queen b2, just thinking now out loud, a move like queen b2 attacks this guy and they will have to defend, I suppose. They have to defend, right? And they'll have to move the rook. And then if you're lucky, you might be able to get another piece to just attack it. You're not going to take just yet, but just saying. Another rook a to b, and perhaps you're going to push the a6. They can't take because you attack it like twice b8. So just a random thought. Just a random thought. You need to try to create something here. As long as you maintain the queen and the knight to double attack e5, as long as black is being forced to defend that e5 twice, maybe you can maintain the threat on e5 and also create another thing, another threat, by playing queen b2. So that's what I think. Looking at the position in the comfort of my chair here. So queen b2, then rook a b1. I'd assume black has to defend the b7 pawn, right? I don't think they're going to drop bishop back. If they do, hell, I don't know. I have to take it from there. But it seems like a good attacking point. Queen b2 followed by rook a b1. That's the plan I'm having for white, judging with my own mind what's going on here. Yeah, of course, I think black can play the knight d8, but is that really a move? That feels incredibly painful to play it. But you never know. I mean, you never know. So I think the attacking points for white are very clear if you go down this way. Queen b2. Queen b2 seems to be playable. Very playable, actually. I'd really think about queen b2. Queen b2, not b3, because if I do b3, I no longer attack e5 twice. So I think the maneuver has to do, but hey ho, no, not queen b2, bishop h1. The hell is going on, fellas? Bishop h1. Why bishop h1, for Christ's sake? Bishop h1? Who's attacking that bishop anyway? Nobody. I mean, knight can't really go g5 because the e5 is being attacked, right? Or maybe he prophylactically wanted to move the bishop to h1? Okay, knight, the black knight can't really move. Look, if you want to do something with the bishop, maybe just bishop g2, man. This feels like the most painful way to putting that bishop somewhere. I understand you don't want to trade off pieces now with white. I understand. But bishop h1, I mean just bishop g2, right? I mean you try to oppose something somewhere. Okay, bishop g2, bishop takes, king takes, then check with queen d5. I kind of see the reason why. So if bishop g2, bishop takes, king takes, and then we're having this. Check. So probably he didn't want to give Magnus space for tactics and maneuverings and checks and this and that. So he tries to avoid trade-off pieces. He goes with bishop h1. Fine. Bishop h1. Queen f6 now. In principle, triple attack on f1. In principle. It's worth mentioning. Once the black knight goes God knows where, just an example. So let's imagine the black knight wasn't on f7. This black knight was someplace else. Then black could do queen f1. And then rook has to take. And then black rook from f8 over to f1 just simply delivers checkmate. Just to give a tactical idea to our friends, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys probably seen that. But yeah, that's a possibility here. That is definitely a possibility here. So for black, the knight on f7 has to go. somewhere. You gotta go somewhere in order to achieve that. But let's take them step by step because now it is white's turn to play. It is not black's turn to play. So you gotta figure out something here. Knight f2. Well, that's an attacking move. It attacks the bishop. And not just that, the bishop will have to move. We don't know where. We don't know where Magnus is going to move the bishop. But there is also this idea. Magnus didn't even freaking bother. He didn't even bother. Because it's not just the f1 threat. There is also the f2 threat. And if knight takes h3, we're actually going to have a check from the knight. Then you have to play g2, attacking the knight. I don't know what's going on then. Queen f2, but then they take. I guess the knight's going to go back. But then you do have the f2 still available to you, and your king had just blocked the bishop in. So he just grinding everything. He just simplifies the position now. White had rushed into defending the very difficult f2 square, but I think black has got all the resources, that is Magnus here, he's got all the resources to figure out how to continue playing this position. I guess bishop e6 would be one, but that's just me. Hey, that might be awful. Seems I'm not Magnus, of course. Might be bishop e6. Is there anything black can do to improve the attacking tactics here? I feel bishop e6, but feeling is not maybe the best criteria in deciding upon what to play. Bishop e6 feels like good stuff to do here, but I might be wrong. Bishop e6 and then eventually knight h3. Does that work better for black? I mean, hell, if you draw, still okay. Bishop e6 or bishop f5. I don't know yet. Bishop e6, knight h3 forces things. And then get back the bishop. So I think it works after all. Bishop e6. And then you're going to try to play some knight h3. And if pieces trade off, that's all for the better. Well, if you wonder what's the weakness for black, well, it's not that much of a weakness, but it's worth mentioning. The pawn on e5 is the weakness for black. If pieces were to disappear, if the white king were to march on quickly and pin that guy, that might be something. Just envisage all the pieces are gone all of a sudden. You've got the same material, but then you're going to have very much a king's race towards the pawns. So yeah. Probably a draw with the most correct, most accurate play. Probably a draw, but for humans, very difficult to achieve that for humans. Yeah, we're watching number 1 and number 2, and it's exactly as it says. One of them going to be the gold medalist, the other guy the silver. A draw for Magnus here means he won already. Yeah, pick up or take whatever. A draw for Magnus means that he won because he also won yesterday the match. So any draw means he won. That's that. Any draw means he wins. Bishop e6, but I think Magnus is enjoying now the position, so he could do whatever he wants. Well, not whatever you want, but yeah, bishop e6, but then again, I might be wrong. Maybe king g7? No. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. King g7? I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of a weakness given the fact they might go for the b7 and then you start worrying about this kind of craziness. So king g7 I think is completely unnecessarily. Still I'm on the opinion perhaps bishop e6. Yeah, perhaps bishop e6, ladies and gents here. Yeah, bishop e6. Bishop e6 followed by knight h3. Trade-off stuff, and I think it looks nice and cool, and probably drawish e, which is winnable for Magnus in the end. Yep. Yeah, thanks for following. That's appreciated. Fabi here is just roasting. Oh my god, the black queen is gone. Black queen is gone. Whose turn is it? Fabi's. Well, there is stuff here. And the stuff is, this bishop still eyes the a1 square where the white rook is. If this thing gets taken, probably black could take also with the rook. But then you're going to save your rook. I think that works. I think everything works here. Everything works. So just take the knight, I guess. Take the knight. Take the knight. Or do you want to... Nah, you don't castle here. You still have that bishop, you know. So take the knight. Black rook takes, I guess. And then you play rook AB. And then you go with the rook somewhere here. And then you attack on the 7th rank pieces and pawns and whatever you can grab. And that's fine. Or maybe even rook b1 to b8 to get rid of the rook. That's even better. So let's do this again. Knight takes. Black takes backward. If they take backward a pawn, you have all the time in the world to decide what to play. c3 or such. So you take the black knight with white. Fabi takes the black knight. They take with the rook, enabling the bishop to hit the rook on a1. And then you play rook a b1 with the intent to play rook b8 and simplify trading off the pieces and stuff. I think that makes sense. Again, Fabi is winning this. Fabi is totally winning it, and he needs to just play correct moves. Not the brilliant moves, just correct moves. You winning here with the good moves. You don't need to do anything special. The special thing already happened in the past. That's why he came to this point. So white is winning. Just do simple, effective moves. Nothing funky or difficult. Did they go, man? Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, where were we, fellas? So Fabi wins this, obviously. Queen e3 being played. Magnus didn't move nothing. Okay, guys, you can throw your best candidate moves. Of course, coming from your own minds, not from the softwares and stuff. I think bishop e6 is the one candidate move here that I would look to playing. Because if you don't move the bishop, you're going to have to stay with the black knight there forever. Right? To defend it. So I don't want to do this. What else? I mean, if you start pushing the h-pawn, maybe, but you really want to do this? It feels unnecessary. Let's take it by elimination. I wouldn't play the b-pawn. I wouldn't play the c-pawn. I wouldn't play the h-pawn. Just take it like this. I don't play this guy. I don't play this. I don't play this. I don't play the... Do you play the pawn on e5? Could you? Oops. I mean, for creating an outpost on f3? Forcing the... No. So I don't play h. No play e. No c. No b. What do you play? You can't move the knight. There's no point moving rook, right? I mean, you can move the rook, I guess, on the 7th rank. Really? I don't think so. There is still a bishop. You never know. So, all things considered, probably bishop e6 would be that move, which is Not a blunder. Allows h3 being played for the black knight later on. It's a safe move. Adds a bit more safety for the king via the a2 g8 diagonal. What's not to like about this? Yeah, bishop e6, I think, then followed by knight h3. I don't know what... Okay, when you have 34 minutes and the other guy half an hour, and one you only needed is just a draw in order to go home with $200,000, I guess you could afford the luxury to spending more time contemplating the current position on the board. So, yeah, I don't think you have to rush it. I would say now, I'm always saying to my friends and stuff, if you got a luxury of time, think about it. So maybe you can find another idea. But don't overthink. You know, you start overthinking and then you play something horrendous. So, yeah, bishop e6 would be something very, very sensible here, I guess. Oh, let me just drop it. Okay. Fabi Vincent here. What's going on? c3 attacking the rook. Wait a minute. What happened? Okay, queen moves away. Knight takes. Knight e3. Okay, he played c3. What I don't particularly like about this one, could they have played this? Yeah, they could have, but then queen takes. Obviously not the pawn, but the queen takes. So it's pretty much nothing. c3, the move that Fabi played, shuts off the bishop completely and attacks the black rook with tempo. Therefore, the black rook has to go. And they went a4. There is absolutely no good moves for black. I don't think I'm going to come back to this game very, very often. Maybe just for instructive purposes and just to seeing how exactly he played and won the position. But white is winning, right? Would you castle short here just to make sure you've got a rook available to going for trades and all? I'd seriously think about castling short. Castle short, get a rook on the b and see if you can play something. Or maybe keep the trades up, just trade things now. Takes first, they take, they have to take. Knight takes, pawn takes, castle short. Or maybe don't trade and castle short. Then get a rook on the b. Yeah, I think I may like this one just a bit more, maybe. Just a bit more, maybe. I think I'd castle short here. Castle short, that seems to be the best course of action here. Castle short, get a rook on the b and trade off stuff. They take, they don't take, it won't matter because pieces are going to come off anyway. And yeah, that makes sense. If you take the knight, also it might be some queen c7 available for white queen, you see. So you take this knight off, they take back, then you play something like queen c7, you attack the bishop, you attack e7. There is, again, there's some good ideas happening. And then maybe you're going to castle. Yeah, I think I like this one. Very likely, with 40 minutes on the clock, Fabi going to find it. Let me see about this, guys, here. Hey, I said about that pawn. I said I don't want to play it in particular, but I did say about that pawn. Moving. Oh, well, bishop e6. Okay, let's play a little game here now. I'm going to ask the Almighty if bishop e6 was to be considered. I don't think this one is a blunder either, or anything wrong with this. But I really want to know what the engine would like to play here if they were with the black pieces. Bishop e6 was my awful. Well, I'm not sure that's awful. I don't think it's a blunder either. Maybe not a very decisively winning option here for black, but still a move. E4, H5, Bishop E6. Probably the 10th move or something. And Magnus played the first line of the engine. That's why he's always the best. E4. Shuts off everything. H5, H6. I've never played this kind of moves here. Unless it was a bullet. Unless it was a bullet. E4. Blocks the bishop in forever. I think this is highly psychological because... oh, man. This is very psychological game. The engines say they would have drawn since like forever, right? The engines draw even before the first move has been played. Let's put it this way. So it doesn't matter what the software would say. What matters is that humans have their own limitations, and Rook A to E in simple terms means bloody hell, quadruple attack on E4. Quadruple because we've got knight, we got bishop, queen, and rook. But it means some other stuff, potentially. Anyway, you gotta tread very carefully with this stuff. If you do this kind of knight takes h3, knight takes h3, check, where the heck do you go? You have to move the king. It's a king move then. You must move king. King goes g2. That's a little bit awful. Knight's gonna go back. I'm not sure knight takes h3. It's look like it's a game of attrition here. Black is constricting white's options so much that kind of I have the feeling like white is in a sort of zugzwang now. Honestly, guys, I feel white is like falling in sort of a zugzwang here. And he's just constricting. So rook a e1, and Magnus played queen f5. Exactly as we said, a game of constriction. I mean, he's just cutting off options for white. He's not delivering some unseen and unthinkable move. He just does not allow white to win, forcing them sort of to create weakness for themselves. It's unbelievable. And queen f5 is that kind of move. It attacks a lone pawn, important pawn, mind you, a very important pawn. And again, white is being reduced at what the heck you're supposed to play? Rook backwards? As we said, Magnus very happy with the draw, right? Since he takes $200,000 home, so... Well, without the tax, so that would be less though. I don't know what the tax is for that amount of money in France and stuff. But anyway, you either go back with the rook, you might be making black to do threefold repetition, or I don't know what you're coming up with here. I don't know what you're playing. You could do it. You could throw a check, queen b3. Is that working? Queen b3, check, king's gonna move, right? Or they're gonna block, you reckon? No, I think king moves on a dark square. I don't know just yet. What I do know is that queen f5 attacks a5 white pawn. So that pawn, you have to defend it, right? You can't take knight h3. I think you're gonna end up very badly if you take on h3 with white now. I don't think you take on h3. You're gonna have to defend that a5 pawn with something somehow. Maybe, yeah. We'll see about that. I'm gonna take myself another cup of tea, guys, or coffee, because I run off of, and great addict of coffee drinks. Queen f5. Queen f5. He didn't move nothing. 24 minutes. Okay, he's looking for ways to try generate some complications, but how do you generate complications? And is it worth it? What do you do? I don't know what do you do with white. I'd probably go rook backwards. Just do nothing. Okay, it's going to end up in a draw. Fine. I mean, what can you do? Definitely you don't want to lose. So I always admire Magnus' capability for maintaining the blockade, blocking everything. Almost you're in Zugzwang. And boy, the way he grinds is just relentless. It's repentless. It's merciless. Is you can use your own adjectives. The way he grinds for every little single thing, and at this high level of chess, unbelievable. Fabi Vincent. Vincent is in pain here, psychological pain that is, not other pain, of course. Chess is only psychological pain. Rook d8. It's an individual choice to suffer in chess. Rook d8. You may not suffer at all if you don't identify with the player, but can you actually practically do this? Well, I don't know. If you can detach yourself emotionally from playing the game, that would be a great stuff to do. But how do you practically actually do that? Can you trick your mind into believing you're not yourself playing? If you can trick your mind, that's great. Can you? Probably you cannot. Hence the psychological suffering in chess. Rook d8. So he castled. Oh, yeah. I did say about the short castling with white here. I did say it. But what Fabi threw in between is an h3 move, which secures the g4. So he doesn't worry about the bishop no more. Therefore, the queen is free to go wherever the queen want to go. Fine. Bishop e6 now. Fine. Castle short, which I did say ages ago. Fine. Bishop e6, amongst others, it means this. You know? Just into perspective. But unfortunately for black, there is also... hey, there is a couple of things that are going on here. Really thinking about this and this maybe? Or is just too much, you reckon? You still have to play this one carefully. I think it is instructive, though. Yeah, it could be probably rook b1, aiming to go b8 and trade off the guys. The rook on f, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Back to life move. What did he play? Queen f5. White didn't move nothing. All right, let me just have a very friendly overlook here. King g3. This is Jan Nepomniachtchi versus Nordibek. One, two, three pawn, white pawns. Oh my lord, a couple of double pawns here for Nordibek. F double pawns, D double pawns. Who's better here? I think white's better here. And I'll tell you why I think white's better here. White can go with moves like king f4, attacking this guy. I'm not sure how you're going to defend it. And whatever you do, it's not looking very nice. There's all sorts of things happening. I don't even know what to tell you. I think Nordibek is a bit toast here, right? It looks very bad. It looks very bad. Black looks very, very, very bad in this position here. Looks like you're going to be sort of losing. Nordibek up the Storov. Jan is winning. Bad, though Jan wasn't able to make it in the first three, I think he's. But then again, the level of this guy's playing chess is enormous. Okay, Rook H8. Very, very tough company to play. These 8 players. It's just madness. I guess the black rook wants to go up to the very end and try to attack something. Yeah, there you go. King f4 exactly. As I said, king f4 going for f5. Just... yeah. Back now to this, guys. Queen f5, queen f5, queen f5. $17 I think he's thinking for a lot of time. I think he stayed for like, what, 15, 20 minutes already? Alright, what did this guys do here? Knight to d4. Of course, threatening e6. Knight d4, want to take this guy. Can't take back because it's pinned. The rook checks the king. So that's a good stuff. Also, knight attacks the c6. It attacks the bishop. Of course, Fabio wins it. Of course, Fabio wins it. There ain't no good moves here for black. I don't know what you're supposed to play. Apart from resigning, but okay. If that's the prospect, then just keep playing. And of course, board number 3, Arjun and MVL here. Hey, the day with the double pawns, eh? The day with the double pawn. There you go, another double pawns on the D file. Hey, what's this guy on G1 doing? That knight is a very, very very idle piece. This piece has to be more active. MVL stun though. Weird situation. Let me look at the material. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 black pawns. 5. Well, if you don't count the double pawns, okay. And there is a passed pawn white here. Has a passed pawn. This guy here. But probably is stoppable. You also have 2 knights. But there is also stuff going on. I'm not sure that easy. I would say as soon as white manages to get a bishop over to h4 or something, I think it might be an issue for black to dealing with this. Bishop h4, I'm not sure how you're playing this. If you're MVL. That's an interesting one. So they started with 90 minutes and 30 sec per move. Okay. Plenty of time. Alright, so this is king f4, attacking f5 straight away. Nothing looks good here for black. Bishop d7 and then rook b7, and I'm not sure what you're playing at this stage. I'm not sure what black is supposed to play. Back to Hikaru and Magnus. Jesus, dude. Bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes h3, F2 is defended currently like 3 times. If you take the guy, he gonna take it. He fought long and hard, and actually he did find something to continue with some exposure of the black king, which is checkable. So let's see how Magnus plays it though. You know something? If you take almost automatically, queen is going to take on e4. And then don't forget that the black king is a bit exposed to various checks, light squares, dark squares, and such, leading to the black king. So there might be some complications there. Magnus goes for grabbing a pawn with the knight, and he want to say, if you take my guy, I'm going to take your guy, but with an extra pawn. Bingo. That's great. Great way to go down by maximizing the damage you do to your opponent. So if you're gonna lose that knight, why not take something down with you? So that's the thing. You could have taken, say, here, or you could do this stuff by grabbing another pawn from your opponent and also opening up this diagonal and stuff. You know what I mean? So knight takes. Also, we got this and we got this. So what did Magnus do was grabbing a pawn. Knight f4, shutting off. You don't want to do this. Now the black knight is being hit. Black knight being attacked. Do you move the knight to c4? Do you play the rook to defend the knight? Do you what? Do you what? But I'll tell you something. Is 30 minutes available for Magnus here, so he's gonna find something. Is queen c2 playable? Probably not. I'll tell you why. I don't think it's wise to go for the pawn and growing very, very greedy now. If you go for a c2, just saying, let's just assume a little bit. Then you're going to have some weird problems here with the checks coming, queen e6 and stuff. And you have to play every single move super, super carefully. Then it's check here on e5. Then you got to go g8. Then it's just getting unnecessarily maybe complicated. g5 hits the white knight. It does bloody hit it. Where do you go? Do you play queen e6? Check. Queen takes. Knight takes. Maybe, but that starts to looking increasingly drawish, right? Thanks for following, guys. I don't know what you can come up with. Let me see. 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4. Even now the black pawns are better. Thanks for following, guys. I like that sound. Keep on following, fellas. So now knight has to go. Well, knight has to go, or you play queen e6. Queen e6 checks. Very likely results in queen takes. And then you take back with what? If you take back with a knight, it's going to be rook e8 pinning your guy. So he didn't do that though. He went for the black knight. And pawn takes, ripping open the G now. Because we're going to see something like this very soon happening. If not something else, hell, you know. 16 minutes, so Naka took the pawn, important every single pawn. But now we're going to takes and takes. Hell, even now the pawn structure of black seems to be a bit more advantageous. It's not going to be easy stuff. So let's just look at it like this. Queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Okay, so they're going to be happening. And then the black rook is able to travel here. How exactly are you going to protect that guy? Unless you're moving first the rook quickly. So rook's going to come here now. Rook's going to take f4, 100%. There you go, rook takes f4, 100%. Now white has to probably do this stuff. Why, man? Because king f7. Ah, he wants to go rook a8, actually. Ah, I see. King f7, rook a8. And actually, he want to play also this idea. Yeah, so rook a8. There you go, fellas. Rook a8, because he wants to go rook a7. That's what he want to do. Again, I suspect gonna get drawish now. It is drawish for some time, though. It is drawish for some time. So king f7, rook a8, rook a7, and still a draw, though. The black rook, as a compensation, can do stuff like this. I'm not sure how you're defending the c anymore. You can't defend it. But taking on b7 is a very important stuff. You got to think very carefully about that guy. But there's always this. So you're going to defend that pawn forever. Difficult. Probably a draw. I'll tell you something. I think Hikaru should press and win. Should keep playing. Because, hell, I mean, you're already silver medalist, right? So, losing and you come second anyway. So, who cares? You know, just do anything conceivable. Someone says in the chat that they have 98% accuracy. I mean, this is freaking insane, all right? This is absolutely insane. They played with 98% accuracy. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So can you imagine how difficult it is to even dream to making a draw against them? So when they're given all the time in the world, these guys are producing terrifyingly perfect chess. King g6. Yeah, it's the archetypal rivalry here. Check the black king. Where do you go? You do f7, I guess. That makes sense, I guess. And then black's gonna go right or left. I think very soon, okay, Magnus went h6. Interesting. Well, he can always drop this and stay there forever, right? Defending everything everywhere. I don't see what's the problem. Black king is no more checkable at the minute, but the black rook can go and attack stuff, like the c pawn, for instance. Anyway, anytime that can happen. Probably a draw. I'm gonna be saying it, so I think it's gonna be a draw, this one. That one gonna be a draw for board number 1. Board number 2. Queen e5 here. Let me see, fellas. Yeah, any trades goes very well for white, including this. You got a queen after all. Queen e5 going 4. You've got it. Queen e6 checking king, attacking g6. Yeah, black should be. And also, it's worth saying that queen also attacks e4, attacks everything. Poor Vincent with 5 minutes available. I don't think he could do anything to saving the position currently here. I don't think so. There's nothing for black to play too much. Queen e6, queen g6, queen e4. It's lost. Nepo Nodebek here. We were watching this one too. Board number 4. Super Grandmasters, the lot of them. Well, looks to me you should be doing something like g6, right? Just securing everything everywhere. g6, right? I think. I'm not sure. I'm just saying. If you don't do g6, you have to move the bishop. Which probably is not a bad idea either. But, yeah, you could do bishop here, right? Or here. Where? Or here. Where? I don't think you get in front of the pawn or the bishop. You got to move the bishop where it sits safely, comfortably. Safely and comfortably. Where do you get that bishop? It looks like if you do this, you kind of allow them to play this nonsense, but... Yeah, but how do you attack... Oh, but then you can push this guy. Oh, sugar. That might be a good idea after all. G6. G6 might be a good idea. I'm not sure if G6 is the best or you go Bishop D5. I'm not sure which one is the best. It looks good, both of them. I hope it's not a draw, one of them. I hope it's not a draw. Yeah. Well, okay. Okay then. Yeah, draw, of course. So, yeah, okay. Magnus had drawn, guys. Magnus first, getting back home with 200,000 less the tax. Rook b3. And the heck are you doing here? Well, you're drawing. Yeah, 0.0, and someone said they had 98% accuracy. This is absolutely insane. I mean, you wouldn't expect less from number one and number two on the planet, of course. The camp and rooms, this and that, life boards. That's from my colleagues at the. Okay, yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna make it, no worries. All right, so tomorrow the chess camp I'm going to. Maybe I'll take a pic of two. Right, let me get myself a beverage if I'm continuing this for a while. All righty, gonna get myself a beverage, guys. Wait a second. Oh boy, I forgot, and the mic was turned off. Hey, what's this? 304. Oh, right. Let me write this down. All right, so that was Magnus first place, Nakamura second place, and I think there won't be any big surprise. What the heck did happen here, man? Since when is this a draw, for Christ's sake? Oh, it don't matter. So Vincent, what the heck? This is not a draw, man. How is this a draw, for Christ's sake? What's this a draw? What's going on here? Did they agree on this one or what? Guys, this can't be a draw, fellas. What is going on with the board number 2, Fabio versus Vincent? This is very, very weird stuff. Okay, so what does he want me to say? Okay. Uh, yeah, I think that should be working, I guess. All right. So this is not a draw. We knew this was not a draw. It might be a technical glitch. Oh my god. Am I live? Okay, I am. All right. So it might be a technical glitch, but that doesn't look like a draw to me. And we knew it's not a draw. Maybe it's a glitch. And I hope it's a glitch or something. Because if this is a draw, it's very weird. I mean, you're supposed to play and to win, right? Anyway. Okay, now. I wonder if I try to create a 5 minutes game, if I need to resize the board and stuff. If I need to resize it. Let me actually put a puzzle board and I'll try use that one as a... wait a minute, just... Let me try to... I apologize for this, but they're getting really funny. You know, the resizing of the board and stuff. Try to move this one here now, just a little bit. I'll lock in. So I want you guys to see the info and all. Actually, wasn't chessboard. Let me just not lock it for the time. Let me just a little bit. Like this, dragging. Oh, okay. Okay, I guess that should be in order now. Let me lock the chessboard as of now and then press the creating a game. Okay. I can't answer those messages now. Yeah, okay, fine. All right. I hope you guys see the entirety of the board. Yeah, I could move it maybe a little bit to the left, but okay. Knight c6, yeah. Let's play this and e6 and wait a second just. E6, I guess. b7. Knight f6, knight f6, knight f6 here for now. Castle. Castles. Dropping this guy, just staying away from the pawns and such. Maybe I can do something like this. I am doing it anyway. This guy is hanging, for Christ's sake. I gotta be careful about this stuff. I had overlooked that threat. It's serious. Maybe I should have pushed a freaking pawn. Maybe this, maybe that, you know. Let me see if I can prompt them into playing this kind of stuff. Grab more space on the queen side. Whatever that means. Okay. Okay. Yeah. They decided to go this way. Let's take then. If we do this kind of stuff, I might be able to. Anything else I'm not aware of? Or should I push this guy? Let's go with this. I think. Right, they go after my guy. We're gonna be trading a couple of guys now. Also, there is this thing here happening with the bishop and the rook he currently has on attacking c6. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do something about that. Hey. Alright. So obviously if they take d6, bishop takes d6, right? I think. It's gotta be. Yeah, now he attacks c6 a billion times. I sort of have to, right? It's not that bad, I think. Now I'm gonna move the bishop somewhere. What does somewhere mean? It means very many things. But I could take the other bishop, you see? I think that's probably the best stuff to play, I guess. And are we trading queens now? Very likely. I got a d5 square for my knight and something. I think that would be a good point to investigate. Now, if he trades queens, he trades queens. So let me play a pre-move. I play the pre-move. Rook f8 over to d. There you go. Because you have to take it back. And now I take this guy. He removed my beautiful, beautiful, superb knight and stuff. You know, I could go here. I have to tread carefully with this one. Really carefully. Oh my god, it's a back rank. I've forgotten that's a back rank check. Let's try attacking this way. There's a back rank. I have to be very careful about that one. I lost sight for a second or two. I knew there was a thing with the back. And now he nicked the pawn from me, you see. He nicked the freaking pawn from me. Let's try this idea. Yeah, of course he stops me. Of course they stop me. This one. 3-2-5, 4-2-6. That's not great. It's not great. It ain't. Okay, maybe. But I'm not sure. Maybe. There's a lot of maybes. If I'm lucky, I might be drawing. Well, okay. Do I? Like what? This. I'm not sure, fellas. Not sure, guys. Going with this, you're going to take a check, you see. Maybe I should have played rook c2, though. Yeah, well. Yeah, well, sure. I should have played. Yeah, right. Boy, those shouldn'ts, they drive me crazy, you know, those shouldn'ts. I don't think that was a bad game. I don't think that was such a bad game. But now I've got some issues here. There is some issues, big issues. He gonna go c5. Wait. I can't even go on the second rank. Yeah, he goes c5. Check. Try to get this guy. Nah, probably he wins. he wins because he gets this guy and then he pushes those white pawns down the board. Good game though. That was a good game. I screw it up in the end. But that was a good game. Let me move the board a bit to the so you guys can see more of it. More info on this and that. Lock the board now. Okay, cool. Dude, I can't talk to folks on. So I'm white. Okay, cool. French defense. Let's get that spawn away. Wait, what's it doing? I guess I could take. I guess I could push. If there's any b4, I'm going to play c3, right? Let's play c3 anyway. I don't think there's anything bad at this. Some bishop d3, some castle short along this ideas. Bishop d3, castle short, right? Anything else? I don't think so. Let's get this guy out. He played the bishop on f8. That's a little bit weird. He's going to have to waste another tempo if they want a castle short. Hello, Hugo. So let me castle just to be on a safer side. Now I'm going to play some queen d2 attacking the h6 like twice. Maybe h3 as well. Okay, we'll see. Hugo, if you play the memorable rapid game, I think we should be analyzing it, buddy. Queen d2 looking at h6. Of course, that was expected. Now we take. We got to trade off that guy. I tried to get queen and then some checkmate threat on knight g5, queen h6. So now I'm going to take this. I'm not sure. Queen would be interesting. I need to get some more pieces, but what's the most priority thing ever? I'm not sure. I just played I guess that's also kind of cool. Allows me stuff and threats and all. So knight b5, what's it doing? I want to go here. I want to go knight d6. That attacks the rook and attacks b7. It should be coming up something. Not mentioning rook b7 actually. After they played the rook, I don't know where. But let's see how they choose to play though. I think white should be maybe a little bit better here. I've got knight g5 for Christ's sake. I got knight g5 attacks the rook. Where's it going to go? That's actually a good move. Let's play it. If you want a second exchange, I think I just have to accept this, right? Rook b7. What's going? He go for c3 now. Uh-huh. I'll take b7, right? So do I play this and that? Let me think a little bit. I could play rook here and just forget about it all. But that's important, though. Now, that is important, actually. I hope I didn't mess up massively. I think this queen e5 idea is very important. Very important, I think. It's got to be something here. Okay. Wait a minute. I guess queen e7. Queen e7. Let me think a bit. Sorry if I'm not prompt in answering, guys, but I really want to figure this out accurately. Queen e7. Attacks f7 twice. They have to defend with bishop, and I'm winning the bishop, right? Queen e7. Okay. Now we're taking. And I've got rook b7 then. I got rook b7. And that should be working, man. We're talking about battery, rook, and queen aiming at this. So I think that should be working. Of course it works. It has to work. Further taking. Yeah, well, don't matter. Further taking. They're moving here. Then we're removing the knight. And practically we're enjoying 2 rooks and queen versus 1 queen and rook. So, yeah, queen and rook. So, winning medium to, yeah, maybe 15, 20 moves. So, Hugo, if you want to analyze your rapids, now it's time to do it. If you played on Lee Chess, I hope we can definitely look into your last rapid you play, my friend. Let me know. Okie doke. 9. Okay, cool. Yeah, Magnus came first, doesn't it? Nakamura second and Fabi third. This is the hierarchy, guys, following the freestyle, Paris, this and that. Freestyle chess. A lot of tactics from the very first move. That's what I like about the freestyle chess. There is no opening theory preparation. You just do tactics from the very move. That's great. E3 is the move here, and I've got nothing, so to speak, in terms of taking on F2, which I cannot. I cannot take on F2. They want to push B4, so I'm stopping with A5, so B4 is no longer playable. I'll take this guy later on. I have to push this one now, because actually I couldn't have taken. I should have taken that guy for free. I was not playing the best move. No, I was supposed to take the pawn, not to castle. That wasn't a good move. Just try to do something, but that wasn't a good move. Okay, that's what we got. That's what it is, folks. Okay, 95, knight takes. Now, do we do now what takes all? I don't want to play takes all, but you know, if I can, I try to stop this from happening, but that was a bit of a lazy move, H6, but I guess you have to do this kind of stuff every now and then. 94, 94, 94, 94. Really? 94? Let's play 94. Maybe. Not sure though. 94. What is going on here? Thanks for the follow, guys. That's cool. Knight takes, bishop takes, right? I have to move this guy now. Wait a minute. Yeah, I have to. I'd love to stay this way, but I can't. I gotta go back. Maybe I can get queen g5. What's this? I play knight, man. I have to play knight. I have to play the knight. Important to play the knight. If he gives me the bishop, I'm happy to take back. Friendly 678. Thank you very much, my friend. Thanks for following. My gameplay is decent at times, but I fully appreciate your presence and your kind thoughts. I'm trying to get my queen over to the king side, get a little bit of pressure on those H and G files. He created, though, a little bit of a weakness. It's not... It's a weakness. That is E3. Let me see what I play. I don't think it's that fundamentally bad to play this, and I think I should. It's a forcing move. Now I'm going to give my guy... Oh my lord. Did I just blunder so already? I did. I did. I can't defend the bishop. Christ's sake. Bishop takes... No, that's gone. For Queen is attacked, man. Bad. Very bad. Queen is attacked. Yeah, well, I'll do what I can. I need to double up the rook somehow, but also he want to go here with the knight, doesn't he? Of course he wants. Yeah, whatever I do is bad now. There's no good moves for black. There is no good moves for black at this stage. There ain't no good move. There is no such thing as good move for black. Yeah, he wants to do checkmate here on g7. How many times? I know. He's going to move the knight, and it doesn't even matter where he goes with the knight. Let me think. Could I take... Nah, that's just... There's no good move. I may very well just resign. 1 minute is not enough, of course. Okay. Okay and not okay. Rook a2. Yeah, maybe rook a2. He got a strong battery there. What the heck is he doing? This guy is pinned now, right? That guy is pinned. You know? It's just pinned. He's gonna push this one. There's no time for subtleties. I need to sack an exchange. I need to do stuff like this. Oh, sugar. Sorry. Sugar. That was done. Good game, but I blundered. And that's that. Good game. Good game. I barely use the Discord, but yeah, I guess we could. I think I'm using Discord once a year. Or maybe twice a year I'm using Discord. There's so much social media. There is so much. There is so many websites that they kind of like lost all meaning. There's so much social media that you don't know what to look at first. I mean, it's just... Should I sack on g6? Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, check. Yeah, maybe I should. Should I take this guy first? Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, check. There's a lot of pieces there. It's not the most sound move ever. Carlitos Way. I think there was a film with... Carlitos Way was a film with is a film with Pacino and Sean Penn. Carlitos Way, yeah, if I remember exactly. Who's the director? Martin Scorsese, I think. Okay, what the heck am I playing? This one here. Forgetting. I think time to develop stuff. I don't know what developing means now, but it's just getting stuff out. Okay. Grabbing whatever I can. He's gonna play. Yeah, he's a little bit crowded here. Okay, I'll give you that. He's a bit crowded. Shh. The move that I played, the bishop takes g6, probably wasn't sound. And I think I did say it. I don't think it was a sound move at all, but it generates this kind of nonsense. And you might be able to just pull something at some point, you know. King is not what they're supposed to be. Now they try to move that guy away. It's interesting. I mean, what am I supposed to do anyway? If you don't press with the attack here, what exactly are you supposed to do anyway? So you got to try everything you can. We can go back and then have a look. Now, there is a check here. That's a very important check. Very important check. Because that keeps the king. Wait, is there anything better than this? Yeah, it's the freaking pawn forward. That's what better. That's what best is. It's the check. And now I've got this. Wait. I feel it's here. I feel it gotta be here. They're gonna keep the king where they don't want to be. Now I could take this guy preparing some bishop. It's good stuff that's happening. There is a billion checks coming now. Or I just try to encourage myself. And then the rooks are coming on C and D. My beautiful rooks are coming now C and D file, and I think it's good. I'm looking at bishop f4, the next one. I just draw an arrow just in case I forget. He's attacking my freaking queen. I gotta move queen now. Do I? Yeah, there's no check. I have to move the queen. Somewhere. I could go here. I could go here. He could take, but that's kind of good for him. Okay, this is very sharp. Very freaking sharp. I've got to check now. No. Yes. No. Yes. I mean check, for Christ's sake. Difficult. Playable. Hey, I'm having a check. I'm winning the MI. He blocks with the knight, man. But I got another check here, though. But I got a check here, though. No. I got a check here. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. There is something. 1 minute 28. Okay, that's already bullet getting for me. It's already getting a little bit bullet here. There is rooks coming now into play. And the king is not what they're supposed to be. So the black king is not what they're supposed to be. When I did that crazy sacking on g6, I kind of dreamt of it. That's a check. Not negotiable. I knew it. But now it's my turn. It's my turn now. Let's go with this idea first. Check. I'm not sure I played the most accurate moves, but, you know, what do you want? King is not what they're supposed to be. We could do another check, but we could also do this. All right. I could do another check. I think I could do another check. Check. And I'll do another check. I'm just going for checks. There's no time for anything else but this. Right. Now I'm gonna do, I could take the queen. I could take the freaking queen, or I can do this. Let's take this one first. And then I'll take the queen. I'm not sure what's going on yet. Wait a minute. Take the queen. Playing this. They block with the queen if I do this. I'm an idiot. Let's take the queen now. Oh, it's checkmate. Bishop takes f3. I didn't see that. I've forgotten, actually. I've forgotten about bishop f3. I've forgotten about bishop f3. come on. I've forgotten about that bishop f3. F3 was always an issue here. So bishop takes, I guess. Bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, and then taking queen. Yeah, I think this is the right way to play. Bishop takes d4, knight takes d4, rook takes d4, king goes. Hell, yeah, then you take the queen and stuff like, and you still need to keep an eye on f3, but maybe I can push the h and go king h2 or something. I think he's probably was playable like this. Probably. Perhaps. d5 takes. I can take later. Knight here. Let's take now with the knight. Let's develop. Let's make a sort of pin. Then let's go e6. And let's see what happens. e6, right? We could potentially take on c5 if they let us. That is, if they don't play b4. Which is going to get very sharp, but you know that, don't you? Okay, so now what do we do? Taking back with what? Let's take with a pawn, though. So bishop e7 now, right? Bishop e7 and then castle if there's nothing more stringent that has to be replied with. So bishop e7 now blocking the check, castling short here. Still, yeah, I think we can still do this. Taking with this. And now what do we play? I have to play the knight, right? I'm going to go back with the knight. And maybe I'm looking at queen b6, queen a5. I don't know which one is it. Queen b6, queen a5. What's it doing? He attacks my bishop. Oh, I see. He attacks my bishop. Bishop d7. Bishop e6. Okay. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I've got an isolated pawn. That pawn is awful there. The pawn on d5 is not great. It's not great. Queen b6. Yeah, maybe queen b6. And then if they play rook b, maybe I can play bishop f5 attacking that rook respectively. So queen b6, then bishop f5 or something. I gotta move queen. Now, like, queen has to play. Now I could go. No, I can't go back. Let's just play something. Let's just move something. I could go bishop f5 eventually. Or maybe a rook over to d8. That might be another idea. Or maybe rook c8. Or maybe rook d8. Okay, there's very many maybes and perhaps as. I guess they equally good. What they play? Oh, he didn't move yet. He opens up things there. Takes, you're gonna take with the knight. Right? Then where the heck am I going with the knight? With the queen, though. And I'm running over. I'm running to the hills. Here, queen c5. Sort of. Queen c5. Do I take? That might be I love my bishop so much. I just want to run away and see what happens on the king side, though. Also, there is a bit of this. There's a bit of b5 fork, so yeah, they could be considered. Okay, I think I've gotten rid of my very bad pawn. I think. Okay, he goes for the b. Of course he goes for the b. Could I play this? The guy takes, I take. He takes my queen, and I take. Nah, I gotta defend B, right? I guess I gotta defend B. You're gonna play the. You're gonna play the knight here. What if I play this one now? No, it doesn't work, man. Sorry, it doesn't work. For Christ's sake, let's play this. How many minutes have I spent here? I think I spent a lot of minutes. B5, maybe. I'm expecting him to play knight e4 or something. To which, what do I play? Maybe queen h4 something, right? And maybe, yeah. And then we'll see. Maybe queen h4, if knight e4. What's this guy now? I could go queen h now. Or maybe queen c2. Queen c2, queen c2, queen c2, queen c2. What the heck's he doing? I don't have time, man. Queen c2, queen c2. He attacks some things. That makes sense. But, we should go back. He gonna double up. He gonna double up. Let's go here. Okay. Bullet time. I'm not very happy with the bullet time, but hey, here we are. Queen g6. Queen g6. Can I take this freaking pawn? Or is he tricking me? Yeah, he's attacking my queen with knight h4. But then I could play potentially. The heck am I playing? You can't. You can't do this, man. Let's play. Heck, what do we play, man? Are you serious? Let's play rook here. I'm not sure. Knight h4. I don't know. Heck in hell, man. A pesky freaking knight. I'm wasting too many seconds. I'm wasting too many seconds here. That was just the move that I... What's it doing? What the heck's it doing? Okay, I took a rook. They gotta take back, I assume. And then I might be able to take on b7. Well, I have to. Wait, is there something else? Gonna be a slaughter here. You gonna take? No, I'm gonna go here. I've got bishop h3. I've got bishop takes h3. Amongst others. And not anymore. Not anymore. But I got this. I have no time for stuff. This. Maybe this. For some checks and stuff. I'm not sure if that's the best, but what else can I possibly do? There is also this. It's worth mentioning. I guess the guy wants to trade at this stage. I don't want to trade nothing. I don't think there's any increment which is working very well for black, I'd say. Oh, I'm losing the queen. I'm an idiot. I'm losing the queen, man. If I do this, I lose the queen, man. Should I? No, I can't. Whatever. I mean, not whatever, but... That's awful, man. That is awful, fellas. I go back with the queen or something. But what's the bigger plan? The bigger plan is not to blunder. There is no bigger plan. What bigger plan? What bigger plan? Yeah, no, there is no bigger plan. The bigger plan is try not to blunder. Since the rook had left the 6th rank, I planning on to doing this now. You know, with the bishop to d5 and things, because the rook is no longer on the 6th rank. But this is a very difficult ending, and you just need to try not to blunder. That's what you need to do. You need to not to blunder. Hey, Lee Spanner, thanks for being here, brother. Yeah, I think I gotta turn off the stove and then I'll be back in a minute. There is something boiling there. And I'll be back with another one. Hey, Lee Spanner, if you want to analyze your last rapid, let me know, my friend. I'm happy to going through the moves that you played if you want to. If not, that's okay. That is absolutely fine. So let me turn off that stove. Oh, Sam, dude, I wasn't even aware that actually I'm muted for like half an hour now. It's good I got a friend that actually sent me the text. Yes, I was just trying to explain stuff here, but I was talking to the walls. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate towards the end here with this game, which is not supposed to be lost by white. Of course not. I was supposed to be winning it ages ago. But yeah, it's the time that's the issue. So when we sign up for Blitz, it's actually getting very much into bullet, and then that's what it is. So try maybe in the opening, trying to making some sensical moves, those theoretical moves that we normally play, you know, and keep the complications and stuff. Keep the complications for, hey, I didn't pay attention to what I'm doing. I was talking. I was supposed to play the bishop to c4 in order to play king f1. I didn't pay attention to what I'm doing. I was talking. So that's bad. I was discussing to myself things, and I'm not supposed to play that. Let's see if I can fix it. So I played the very non-theoretical move because, yeah. Because, yeah. Let's see if I can break things here, like somehow. I'm in a massive pin on this guy. He attacks here now. I could potentially go, wait. I think I should take this guy, probably. And then go for more things. I gotta be careful though with this one. Let's go this. Yeah, he's ganging up on that guy, of course, makes sense. I think c3, I guess. I need to force some trades. If I manage to force the trades, I'm gonna get out of this. We have to trading stuff. We have to trade stuff and to go for more trades. It's important not to lose this pawn though, if I can. Yeah, but I need to keep up developing, I guess. Ah, sugar, he gonna play the other knight here. If I attack them, wait a minute. Can I go here? Then the guy's gonna go with the queen here, then I'm gonna go here and stuff like this. Okay, let's try. But what about d4? Well, d4 is a problem. It gives me a chance, a little tiny little chance there. Maybe what? Maybe taking here? Yeah, I'll have to take. Unfortunately, I'll have to part ways with my beautiful bishop because there was too much problem for me. Let's develop now. Let me look at the material. 225. He goes for the weaknesses now. Well, I can defend sort of. Like with the rook. Check. And he goes for h3. Well, you can't defend them all. Wait a minute. Could I go this? Let's see. He didn't take or anything. Okay. Let's play then this. He can't move the knight, which is a good achievement. Well, he wants to open up. We don't want to open up, do we? If I take... No, what if I go forwards? I have to go forwards, right? I mean, a fork is a fork, though. Okay, I'm still in a bit of trouble here, but where do I go? I could go this. Yeah, but it takes a check. No, I cannot. Gotta do something else. Where do I go? Here or there? Maybe here. This one's still a threat though. Not anymore. Not anymore. But there's still stuff. Where's it gonna go? With that particular rook, where's it gonna go with that rook? Well, nowhere for the time being. And maybe there's something. Again, I'm going low on time. So they take and I take and now they take. I have to simplify the whole damn thing again. Of course he doesn't bloody take it. Jesus. I don't know what else to play. Hey, there's that. You want to play here? That's gonna be a major headache for me. It's so time consuming to calculate this freaking knight jumping everywhere. You know? You're gonna checkmate? Oh my god, it's not checkmate, right? I'm moving. I mean, if they check with the rook, I'm gonna like. I gotta be very careful of this nonsense. He forks me, man. It's very time consuming the knight. Very time consuming the knight. If he takes here, I'm gonna take on c6, of course. If he takes. Well, I'll play this anyway. Am I? Yeah, I think that's. Okay. What can I do? Okay, it's playable. Again, it's winnable for white. I know it's winnable for white. But the time is, like per usual, time is a thing. I want to take on c6 with the rook. Rook c1 takes c6. Right? Knight has to go now. I'd assume knight needs to go. Attacking this guy again. Where's it going to go? I have some other checks. Do we really want to do that? Yeah, we have to. Rook c7, then take it. Oh. Really? What the heck's it doing? Look, man, there's no time for this. Well, he won't take the pawn. He can't take the pawn. The knight drops. Well, that's a check. Oh, come on. I know. He takes a check now. But then what? 37 seconds. I'll attack the rook back. Okay, we'll see. Check. I'll tell you something. I'm gonna swap the pieces on this guy and winning on the pawns. I'm gonna swap exactly as I said. Exactly as I said. Yeah, I know. That's the only chance that I had to speeding up things a little bit. Here. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I was a bit luckier with this one. Very difficult in the end. So when I took the decision, I took the decision to trade off everything in order to winning easier, having the board just with the pawns and stuff. Let me take you back in time a little bit. Again, is the thing with the here. So in this position, when you're having 14 seconds on the clock, I don't think you're supposed to complicate it. So here you're going to sack 2 rooks for a knight and rook, and you're going to be winning the g5 pawn with the king, and that's a very easy win. And even if you had a rapid game or a classical game, this is the shortest way to win with white. You don't play anything funny, anything funky. You just simplify everything and just use your pawns and win. That's that. Probably the software would tell you something more intelligent, but you want to keep things simple. So rook takes, we're going to ask the engine, but rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, king takes, that's it. You got pawn majority here, but more importantly, you've got a pass pawn on the h. Whichever way you want to do it, you're winning with white here. So moreover, if you're having 14 seconds, of course you have to go for this kind of stuff. Of course. Hugo, if you're still there, you want to analyze the rapid, let me know. We could do it. Hey, that's the Trompovsky, right? The good old Trompovsky. Well, let's take the pawn. Oh. Right. Let's just go for a c3 guy. We could take it later on. We'll take it now. Like now. And now I'm playing this. Probably not the most theoretically accurate stuff, but it's a blitz and a bullet, so I'm not going to waste any more time for this. Let me move the queen. Just a little bit, moving the queen away from the d file. I can make a pin, I can hit the queen. I like to attack if I can, so let's just go for this. I could go many places, but okay, let's go. I'm not sure about this one though. Okay, this is a weird move they played. Okay, they want to make a battery to checkmate me here, right? I mean, I got this. Okay, I understand. But I just stopped it. Okay, I understood that. I did. I really did. But I think I stopped the battery. So they no longer got that thing working. Now I'm going to get my rooks on E, respectively D file. I'm going to play maybe King G7. I'm not sure. King G7 now to stop Queen H6, if you wonder. King G7 doesn't allow Queen H6. And now I don't know. I mean, I've got some all sorts of stuff. Let's get the rook, what we said. Let's get the rook nice and active. I have all sorts of things, guys. I got all sorts of things here. But they're not going to take, though, right? I mean, they're not going to take. Now I sort of have to move the knight again. Yeah, that was a little bit of a ridiculous move I played. But anyway, I try my chances. Maybe I need to relocate the queen again. Let's go here. Queen c7, I think it's on the right diagonal, I hope. I'll change if necessary. No, they can't take, brother. I'm gonna go b6. Well, actually, they can. Hell, because it's check when they can. I'm gonna try jump on here quickly. That's not a good one, fellas. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, there's no more check. They have to move. They have to move the queen. And they gotta choose carefully where moving the queen. Okay. 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 I could play knight here. And then moving the guy away. Let's move it now. Always things are changing. If the knight moves, the c3 is takeable. So we've got to understand that one as well. He just defended. Again, there is a lot of stuff going on. I could play a knight or a rook. What the heck am I supposed to play here? Screw this. Let's go with the rook, right? I understand. I really do understand. Let's get the rook behind the other rook. No, I'm losing. No, 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 no. That's cool. That's cool. Doubling on the E. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, sugar. I missed it, eh? And it's still playable, but it ain't the same thing. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. That was a bad move I played. Yeah, it's not. I have to struggle now. I have to struggle just... I have to struggle just to... If he takes my bishop, I'll have to take the rook. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'll have to struggle to only and only draw. It's awful. Yeah, if I manage to... Yeah, he wants to freaking trade everything now. It's nothing I could do at this stage. I'll try to do stuff like every single pawn, king's position going towards the center, this and that, but it's awful. This guy is hanging. I should have taken it. But also there is a... Yeah, I have to take it like now. That's good. That's good. Maybe. I'm not sure about the last move. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Let me see. This one, because I want to play this. If he doesn't pay attention, he might have an issue with that guy. That's incredibly important. This is so important. This guy, if there's anything for black, it relies on this pawn. This pawn is paramount. Let me try tempting them back if there's anything. I got no ideas. I need to keep the situation as it currently is. If you wonder what the heck am I... Man, that's not a good stuff I'm doing, isn't it? No, I'm not sure. I think I screwed up something. I tried to create some pawn majority on the king side here, as you can see. I tried to get those guys on the second rank, that is. Screw this, I'm getting a queen, man. I'm getting a queen. I'm getting a queen. Those guys are incredibly important queen. I don't even care at this stage. So now queen. Okay, queen. I should be able to winning this now. Okay. I could attack on so many ways. Let's just push one of the pawns, alright? So he's going to push one of the pawns. Right, check. He's still going to push one of the two pawns. Yeah, but now that's it. Yeah, that's it now. Well, he really insists, right? Oh, wait. Maybe a checkmate? I'll take this pawn first. Yeah, okay. It's good not to overthink, just simplify stuff, right? So those pawns, I gotta tell you, those pawns were really... Yeah. I'm curious to see if actually King D7 is the way to play. King D7. Is this the way to play? Thanks for following, guys, and stuff. King D7, let me see. I'm not sure, but that allow me to actually pushing those guys. Very important. Very important. That's how I got a queen and all. The Almighty says a little bit of advantage, and that is bishop e6 to just hold everything. So bishop e6 to hold everything together, and that should be a draw, given the fact the a2 black pawn is very advanced. King d7 also playable, but hell, do you think I actually calculated all that freaking line that the engine says there? Of course I didn't. Ah, this is the blunder, but very difficult to see this in a couple of seconds. Very difficult to see this. Well, the guy had more than... Well, I don't know how much time did he have at that point. So king d7, king goes f6 for attacking the white pawn. And now, yeah, it's getting... Yeah, that's it. That was the plan now. Pushing the c and stuff. Yeah, this and this, which did happen. Actually, he was supposed to play f5 to create himself a passer here. Crazy difficult, this kind of ending. Just look at this. Very difficult, this kind of ending. So playing f5, forcing me to take, so to speak, and then he creates a passer on g6. This is crazy difficult. So difficult. Nice one. Okie dokie, fellas. Thanks for stopping by here today. Tomorrow being, what, Tuesday, right? Tomorrow I am going to a Easter chess camp. I'll try to take maybe 1 or 2 picks. And I don't know if I'm going to film. I need to ask the parents if they're happy with me filming students, young kids and stuff. So anyway, see you probably in the evening tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to do some puzzles and rapid analysis. I mean, if you want to analyze your games, I meant your rapid games, I'm more than happy to do that. Other than that, please do follow, subscribe, check my YouTube archive, TikTok archive. Thanks very much, fellas. Take care of yourself.